Yo, what's good, people? It's your boy Talks, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm here with Ves
What's up?
and Sharky,
Hey yo.
and we're here for some DPL post-draft or post-auction PRs. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go down this list here, starting with my team, and we're just gonna list our opinions. And then at the very end, we're gonna basically say who we think the best and the worst teams are. Sharky, let's hear your opinions on our team, the Noble Victory.
Our team? Our team do be a bit spicy, We got the talent, and if everybody shows up, it should be a good time.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say.
You don't have any opinions on the players?
Like,
Or anything like that?
specifically?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen, obviously more of the boomers like Hiker and Genius play, but obviously I expect great things from them. Hopefully they show up and carry out. TDG, gonna be active sweating.
Okay.
Yeah, Ace Trainer Josh, I've obviously teamed with him before. He is the fucking GOAT, so
pretty
glad to
good.
team with him again.
I agree. He is
Yep.
pretty fucking good.
Alright,
Whenever
let's get
he
this
tries.
dog shit bias out of here, bro. This team is either gonna be really good or really bad. Hiker hasn't played in so long. Genius hasn't either. Josh hasn't either. Sharky's a homophobe, and then the rest of them are just
Okay.
Illuminati. Like, who the fuck is that?
Bro, I want you to
So-
look at this, okay? So you have either me or AM22 starting each week. Either of us is an
No.
auto win, right? And then you
No.
got Hiker Toad. Like, if he's trying, Hiker Toad's also an auto win. Genius
No.
X is a crazy good drafter. Like, he's gonna carry in drafting, even if he doesn't want to play every week. TDG,
Hiker is
He's
a better
cracked.
drafter than Genius.
bro, TDG, this motherfucker pulls up like he did in TDT and goes nearly undefeated. He's a goated 5K pickup. And Josh, bro, back in TDT season 4, I think, Josh was known as one of the best ORAS players around. I mean, he just hasn't played a whole lot of.
Unfortunately,
since then, but,
it's not that time anymore. It's DPL season 6, and it's 2022.
Yeah, but
So-
if he can get back to the point where he was back then, he's easily gonna be ORAS MVP. Then we got Pi. Pi's an okay player. He's a good Ultra Sun Ultra Moon pickup.
You just called your own player an okay
Yeah.
player.
Fuck Pi, bro. No, I'm fucking with you. I love Pi. I think he's a great guy. And then Sharky, Sharky's pretty versatile. He's a great prepper. Nobody expects what he's gonna bring each week, and I think for 25.5k, having a wild card like Sharky is very valuable to have on your team. And then Troy,
Basically,
Troy.
you're saying he could
Oh, yeah.
easily lose any week just as well as he could
No,
easily
because
win any week.
that's where I come into play. Okay, that's where I come into play, and I fact check him, and I just make sure his prep is optimal. And then you got Troy,
All right,
right?
No. Let's move on from the dick sucking, and let's move on to the.
Hold
let's
on,
move
hold
on
on,
to the
hold on.
next
I got
game.
something to say about
Oh.
Joshua, he's goated, and Troy with undefeated in fucking TDT, goat sword and shield player. Killuminati, y'all are sleeping. He's gonna go crazy this season. All right, let's
For
move
sure,
on.
bro. 100%. I agree.
All right, let's move on. Trick of Eye. So we got II and Skyhorse as the captains. What do we think about these captains? What do you
It's
think?
great captains. Honestly, nothing bad to
Sharky?
say. One of the better cap cores.
Okay.
I definitely agree.
I
Yeah.
actually agree that I think it is one of the better cap cores player-wise. I haven't really teamed with II before or seen him help people out, but I'm sure he's great, like support.
I
and
mean,
know he's
they
great as a
won last
player.
season. This is the defending champ, so
Facts.
I mean, it doesn't get much better than I as a player. So
Facts.
that's
and then
that.
like Skyhorse, I mean, he's kind of like Sharky, where he's kind of like a wild card.
Way
pick.
more of a wild card.
Yeah,
way more.
he's a lot more of a wild card
Mhm.
for sure. I've seen him have bad results, but I've also seen him have really, really good results. So,
100%.
and then they got Aki.
Yeah.
So, what do y'all think about that guy? What do you think about?
Okay, Aki is definitely one of the best players in the pool, but when you really break it down, and you see that he drafts Megazard X
Yeah.
and Latios in Oras, it doesn't matter how good you are, if you're drafting those two Pokemon in any tier, you're just not going to do well. So personally, I could see a little bit of a slip from Aki this season.
Yeah, I have a little bit to add on to that actually. So I've heard from my inside sources that Aki actually gets carried pretty hard by Zazo and all those other Rushmore guys. I've actually heard
Oh,
he's
100%,
the worst
100%.
Mu-
Yeah.
Rushmore guy. So I feel like him going for 31k is a bit like I feel like it's negative value because I mean he's used to getting carried by other people rather than him carrying the team himself. But I do think with II and Skyhorse
Mm-hmm.
being there, I mean they're both pretty good players, so I don't think he has to put the entire team on his back. I just think that Aki wouldn't be my top pick personally, but
I personally do think he has to put the team on his back because if you look at the rest of this roster, like Hunter, he's good. No problems there. Beat
yeah.
Gypsy last season, overall
I
consistent
mean
player.
he always goes
The
positive.
rest of them,
Yeah.
like, I'm not impressed. Bea is technically one of the best players in the game, but you don't know about the commitment or how well they'll translate. I mean, look at X-Ray. X-Ray was one of the best smoke on players. Absolute fucking horseshit in
That's
draft.
true. That's true. He
So,
was horseshit in
Yeah.
draft.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god, he was ass. He
Oh,
had
Zuku Blue
back-to-back-
Royale, honestly, pretty solid pick at the end there.
Yeah,
Did
he
pretty
he
well
teamed
last
with Aki.
season.
He teamed with Aki last season.
Yeah,
I saw him
no
running like
problems with
some
that.
in prison type shit. It was funny. But
Yeah, but, like-
Sharky rates Bia pretty highly. What do you got to say about
Yeah, I
Bia?
rate Bia highly. I've heard only great things from him and Smogon. I'm not sure if motivation will be much of an issue because he typically has that with some tours, but as long as he focuses on the game, he'll do well. He just probably needs some support because this is his first draft tour.
Yeah,
That's the
usually,
main concern I have with this team because like most of the players seem like they need somebody to talk to, and the fact that their top player isn't really known for like basically talking out games with them, it seems all reliant on the caps, to be honest.
I'm gonna be honest here. I think this is one of the better teams solely because of the cap core. Because if you actually break the team down, they have Aki, Hunter, and then they have Bia. But like, look at their mid-tier players. Ice, bro. Me and Vest have the same opinion on
Hey,
Ice,
bro.
Demon, Gray.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Bro, and then they got fucking Slick, Panther, and Hopeless, who have probably never played DPL like ever before. And if they have, they probably didn't do
Slick
very well.
has once. He like sat the bench on fucking RHV that one time.
Yeah, and like I'm guessing he lost the game that he played. And then Checkmate was
Yeah.
he was a
Mhm.
Rushmore goon last season. He did okay. I think he went like 4-3 or something like that, 4-2, something like that. But
Okay, so if we're trying to compare this team to your team, I'd have them slightly lower than your team. I think your team has a lot more potential, but I could definitely see this Trick of Eye team getting into the playoffs.
I
you know?
honestly, yeah, I can see both of our teams
Yeah.
getting into the playoffs, but I think my mid-tier
Mhm.
players are a lot better than their mid-tier players. Like if you compare TDG to Hopeless or Slick Panther, TDG's smoking either of them. And
Yeah, I
same with
agree,
Pi.
but Aki has been playing consistently for a long time, so that gives them a little more hope. And Skyhor, all those guys, like all these
Yeah.
guys on their team consistently play, no breaks, no nothing. So that's the only thing.
Well, here's the thing about their
That's
team.
one good thing.
The entire success of their team is going to come down to how well Bia does. Because their entire, like, they went all in on Bia. They put all their fucking like, they threw all their chips down for Bia. Like, if Bia doesn't perform, this team is not going to make playoffs.
Possibly, yeah, I could see that.
I'd agree with that because like Aki and like either one of I or Sky are most likely their most consistent players are going to be starting a lineup every week. And then Hunter, I'd say he's pretty consistent, but he's been away from the game for a bit from what I
Hunter's
know.
also
JCM's
pretty
coming off a
consistent.
7-month break, so like
Dude,
They also have some.
JCM's also kind of
That
a
is
wild
true.
card. Nobody knows how good he's going to do.
Yep, for sure.
yeah.
But with these three in the middle, Ice, Slick Panther, Hopeless, that definitely downgraded the team quite a
All
bit.
right, you're just being fucked up at this point. Leave the brothers alone. My God.
I'm just voicing my honest opinions. But next up we got Danger Zone with Harris Vino. What do y'all think about these captains? What do y'all think?
Okay, so the cap core, I'd rate like mid-tier, like lower mid-tier.
I agree.
I think they're both solid players, not really like stand out. They're both gonna hover around 500. But the team, I don't know so much about the team. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, let's analyze this team. So we got pick 1, 5.5 Legion Flames. Do you think this is a good
Absolute
price?
godlike pick.
Godlike pick. I honestly, I've heard he's had the worst DPO record of all time, but
That's not true. That's not true. Listen, the boom or bust on Legion is real. There is a real boom and there is a real bust. But if they
I
can
don't
get that
even know what
boom
the
out of
fuck
him,
that
he can
means.
be a real player. Like, I'm serious.
Okay, well, I don't know how active he is, but so far we got like kind of an inactive player, I guess. And then right after that, they pick up TC, which is he's a good player, but he's super inactive. Like I've seen any team tour that TC's on, he's been super inactive, has not supported the team at all, barely been around into the drafting phase. So I think player-wise, if they can get some good teams without his help, then maybe he can perform. But
I mean,
what do y'all think?
let's bring up the best player, Finch.
Yeah, 40K.
You know,
Finch?
obviously we were in a bidding war for this guy. This, one of the best players in the game for sure. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's gonna carry
Okay,
the rest of
if
these
y'all
guys.
want to know what really happened, is fucking Ves and fucking Harris and Vino waited until round 3 to pick up their top player, so they all had to throw all their money in on either Finch or Rob Jr.
Excuse me,
That's
I
what happened.
literally got the first player in the draft who's one of the best players in the tour.
Yeah, but he's not a top tier, you know.
Yes, he is.
Like,
What?
okay. So here's how I picture it, right? So you have your first tier players, which are gonna help in drafting and help, like, support people. Like a good example of this would be
Debbie is literally that.
no. Sebi literally tells everybody that he isn't as good as people think he is, and he is a third tier player, like a third or
Debbie
fourth
is
man.
better than your whole team.
That's wrong. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Okay, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track.
Okay. Your fucking
Finchinator,
juiced
I'm
ass
not sure
opinions.
how much he's going to be able to help, like, Specs King. I mean, Specs King, are we serious?
Yeah.
Are
The
we
last
serious
the
here?
last time I saw Specs King play was in Clash of Kings, low tier, and I'm pretty sure he went negative. So
I mean, he played in LD and he relegated with you, so
yeah. Well, we don't
so, yeah.
speak on that. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
yeah, you guys
Sharky,
are
what do you-
actually
Sharky,
pretty
what do you
similar
think?
players
Sharky,
now
what
that
do
I
you
think
think
about
of
it.
what do you think of Finchinator? What do you
Who,
think of
me?
Finch? Yeah.
I'd say Finch is a solid player. Like as Vez said, I don't see him carrying too much. I think he's definitely capable of winning his own games, but I'm not sure how much he's gonna do for the team exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think he's gonna be very good team support for a 40K pick.
Yeah, I don't agree with that though. Finch, obviously, a lot of Smogon stuff going on right now, but Finch is a grinder, man. I think Finch can easily balance all the Smogon with this too, and I could see him, being pretty good.
I mean,
team
didn't he
support-wise.
do pretty well last season? He went positive in Sword
Oh,
and
yeah.
Shield, right?
Yeah, he was great.
Oh, he did
Yeah.
positive for himself last season. I'm just not sure how much he did for the team.
Oh, he was great for sure.
Okay. What about Odin? What do y'all think of this guy? So, okay, here's what I think about Odin. So back in like TDT, I was on the Scald Spammers with Theo. This was Odin's peak time. This was peak Odin. People considered
Yeah.
Odin to be one of the better Sword and Shield players out there. And then after that, he fell off really fucking hard. And he started underperforming everywhere. Didn't play the game as much. And now we're left with this Odin, which is honestly kind of a 50-50 between if he goes positive or negative for me. What do y'all think about this guy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning more towards the negative because I just can't see it. Like, Odin could possibly be good on a team with some better support maybe, but I can't see it from this team. There's
Yeah,
just not
it's-
much
Yeah,
activity going on.
I agree.
Yeah,
The
that's the
support is
main
not
thing.
there.
I'd say he did more towards the negative side. I think he'll at least be active for the team, but for his own performance, I'm not too sure on.
Support wise, it's just not here. They don't have any support. Harris and
Yeah,
Vino
their
are their
best
captains,
support
which
is,
are
like-
terrible.
Odin and Luffy, and that's it.
Like, I've heard Vino's okay support, but Vino was also the only okay support on the Doombringers, and you know what happened then. So,
Hey, maybe they got Halu because they got Baby Eric, you know?
yeah, shit, maybe.
True.
So, they could, if we ever see Baby Eric in the lineup, just, you're not playing Baby Eric.
And I'm gonna be
that's all I'm
honest,
gonna say.
all the players they got after Odin, I'm not really impressed. What do y'all think?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's not much to say. They're
40K
just,
Finch tanked their budget hard as fuck, and they still ended up with 7K afterwards for some reason. So
Yeah, that is strange. That
I
is
just-
strange.
I
I think
just
they got a
don't get
little
it.
too scared after getting that 40K, thinking they wouldn't be able to afford people, and they just stopped bidding, and you just can't do that.
yeah, you got to go all
Mhm.
in right off the bat. But
So
I'd
I'd rank
say
them definitely
low.
bottom three.
Yeah, low,
bottom
low.
three.
I put them low
100%.
as well. Yeah, I'd say these first two teams we ranked are definitely higher than this one.
100%. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up we got Wigglytuff Guild with King L5 and Money Guy. King L5, from what I've heard, can be a great captain one season and a terrible one the next season. So
Okay. That's
I
just
mean, not
playing
captain,
wise. He's
but
a
like
great
playing
captain.
wise. Yeah,
That's
playing
ju-
wise.
He just has his off seasons as a player. But as a captain, I mean, this is a great cap core. I mean, Money Guy, not the biggest talker, as we all know.
Yeah, he's pretty
But,
dead, but he's a
Mhm.
decent player.
But he's a
honestly.
good player,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I've never teamed with him, so I don't know if he talks more in a team setting. So he could definitely be
I
good.
can say from Tangang that he does not.
Okay.
He definitely doesn't.
I mean, honestly, if L5's starting every week, I mean, I think I'd start L5 over Money Guy player-wise too, and then like L5's better support-wise
100%.
as well. So I think Money Guy's
Yeah.
just kind of like an empty slot on it, but that's just my opinion. But first up, we got 26.5k Theo. Honestly, if it were me, I wouldn't draft Theo as my top player. I just wouldn't. I don't think he has the drafting capabilities. I think he's great. I think he's a great player. Playing wise, I think he's fantastic. But as we've seen from this past TDT season on the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, he is a terrible drafter. And like usually
Okay.
out of a top tier player like Theo, you want them to have some idea on how to draft a good team.
Okay, here's the thing about
just
Theo. I did talk to him pre-draft. He is 100% willing to not use stall. So
That's big.
that is a great sign.
That's big.
'cause
Yeah,
I
that's big.
definitely think
Because
he
stall
can be
teams
a
are
good player
fucking
with no
ass.
stall. And in DPL, he has played multiple seasons without using stall, so I think it's a good pick.
Honestly,
I mean, 26.5 might be a little much, but
I
you know,
think
it's great.
L5,
Yeah.
like I think L5 specifically can afford to pick up Theo as his top player, just because I'm pretty sure L5 knows what he's doing whenever it comes to drafting. He's been around for a long time, and I'm pretty sure he's a solid drafter. So they don't
I'm
really
gonna
have to
have
worry
to-
about the drafting
Yeah.
process.
Oh, drafting? Yeah. I was thinking more auction. I was going to have to disagree because King L5 is a big Count Riario fan.
Oh no, not
So-
auction wise. I mean
Yeah,
like
yeah,
drafting.
that's horrible.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got
Well,
20.
the main thing I noticed. Oh, well, let me
No,
say
go ahead,
something.
go ahead, go ahead.
The main thing I noticed when it comes to L5's auctioning skills is that he typically gets like. This is the main thing I see with nearly all of his drafts. He typically gets like. Basically, he just demands a shit ton of activity. That's the main thing he does. Like
That's
even
good.
back in fucking Rose when he wasn't captain, the last two players were like incredible muck slaving like sweats that have no lives. And here, I'd probably say he has like the most active squad, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, yeah, possibly.
You think he has the
like-
most active squad? Is that what you're
I
saying?
mean, it's
bro,
up
his
there. It's up
players
there.
Are very active. Yes.
I mean, Phil alone is very active. You know,
Yeah.
Theo, I'm not really sure to be honest. He seems like he'd be fine. Chip, I don't think so.
Okay, you gotta keep
GCS.
something in mind, dude. The quality of the activity is kind of
It-
important over the quantity of the
See, that's
activity.
exactly my thought process.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of quantity of activity because I'm just like, I don't care if you give me a mock. If it's a shitty mock,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
I don't want it.
Exactly. It's all about the quality. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
And like,
that is true.
all right, so let's break it down player by player. Next up, we got Chipboard. What do y'all think about this guy?
I think he's a good player. He's definitely pretty consistent. I'd say he's always just been a solid player. You know, he's not gonna
Yeah.
wow you, but he's never gonna be bad. So honestly, there's nothing wrong with that pick. Great second player.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's about it.
Well, the
haven't-
thing. Oh, go ahead.
I haven't seen Chipboard play a whole lot recently, other than whenever he played UVS with like that weird fucking. It was like
did
magnet-rized
good in
metal
TDT
sound. It
though,
was
I'm
like
pretty sure.
magnet-rized metal sound.
I'm
magnet.
pretty sure
That
he
was a
went
good
around
set, though.
even
Yeah, it
during
was a good set. It was a
TDT.
good set. So as far as I know, Chipboard's prep's actually pretty fucking good.
Oh, for sure.
It's just playing wise,
Mhm.
maybe it's a bit off because he's gone negative these past TDTs or DPL seasons. So I don't know.
Oh
he's
shit!
up-
Wait,
he's up in
Chipboard
there.
went 1-3 in TDT.
Oh, did he?
That's
Yeah,
what
well,
the
who cares?
doc
It's
says.
TDT.
Yeah.
It's TDT. So
Hold on.
I
My
think it's a
fucking
good
cat's
pick.
meowing.
I think it's a good player.
Yeah. Well, okay, so
Especially
the
since he's
thing-
not their best player. So
My thing with him is,
He's a
so
good
when I
second
was
man.
captain for DPO season 5, I honestly thought this dude was fucking like goated, absolutely amazing. And then obviously he had a pretty rough season in season 5 and this coming TDT season. And I heard from people that he's washed. So like, I don't think it should be too bad. I think he'll still perform, but yeah, that is just something to note.
Yeah, I think he's definitely kind of like a 50-50 player for me. It's kind of just a toss-up between if he goes positive or negative, pops off,
I don't
does
know.
shit.
I think he's better than that.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I
next,
don't really know how to get this go at this point, but yeah.
next we got a really controversial player. We got GC.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with this guy because I
Alright.
obviously had him in TDT.
Yes.
And listen, GCS is Mr. Vibes. Listen, this guy is on Snapchat posting the drippiest shit every day. Just you just can't help but like him. He's a great guy, and you know usually it's kind of fucked up to start with that. Not talking about him as a player, but
Yeah.
he's also a good player, 100%. Now his activity wasn't crazy. It was nothing horrible,
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
He's-
It was not bad.
but he's a good player. I think he's a decent third option.
Okay,
for
so
sure.
if we're speaking about TDT whenever he was on our team, I feel like his activity was up there. I just feel like his performance with his own games was not up there. I feel like he underperformed pretty hard, and I felt like we were disappointed with his performance in TDT. At least I was.
I'd say I was. Yeah. I mean, considering I traded Hacker for him, who was the best player on the team, yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
But he played better in playoffs.
He didn't
He had
win.
a lot of things going on in his life with like moving and just a bunch of bullshit that really fucked him up. So I'm not gonna hold that against him too bad. But
I feel like if he can,
I think he's a good player.
I feel like if he doesn't have as much shit going on during DPL, I feel like he's gonna do a lot
No,
better.
I think he'll be.
I can
he'll be fine, for
100%
sure.
Yeah.
see GCS going positive if he doesn't
Yeah,
have a whole
I
lot
could
of shit going on.
100% see GCS being better than Chipboard.
Oh really?
I could,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, Sharky, what do you think about GCS?
I mean, I definitely agree with everything. I think Milan definitely has huge potential as long as when he's not busy and constantly on vacations. I think he'll definitely show up for himself.
Okay, okay, yeah,
For
I
sure.
agree. Next up we got Pythons. So me and Vest teamed with this guy on YGW. We picked him up in mids, and
I honestly don't remember. Not
he
gonna
went
lie.
like
I
he
don't
went like
remember this guy
I
at
remember
all.
I remember him. He went 0-2, and he didn't really mock for his games or anything. So, from what I've seen from Pythons, he isn't the greatest. But these guys clearly think otherwise because he went for 8.5K. He wasn't just a 5K
I mean,
pickup.
I mean, right? He's an older player, so that just being an older player alone kind of gives you a little more stock, you know.
True.
So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You know, he didn't go for anything crazy. 8.5 is basically nothing. So I like the pick. I think it's solid.
Sharky, you know anything about this guy?
I really don't know anything about him, so I can't comment.
Alright.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got Jimmy G the Milkman. So this guy's always been a pretty solid 5K pickup in DPO from what I've seen over the past few seasons. He's always gone for 5K, and he's always been able to pick up a couple wins for his team. So honestly, I think he's a pretty
Problem with him-
consistent 5K guy.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
problem with him is the cope. The
True.
cope is just insane, dude.
Yeah.
The guy got axed one time, and I saw him in chat just like anyone who said anything about his loss, he was just clapping back. He was literally sitting on there just waiting for someone to say something. It was actually insane.
Oh
I
God,
was
dude.
I was a little shocked.
This reminds me of somebody, but we'll speak on that later.
Yeah, it does actually.
Yeah. Who do you think?
Someone
what do you
we've
think?
already some team we've already gone over.
Yeah. What do you think about Jimmy G?
Jimmy G. Well, I only heard, so I don't know him too well, but I have heard only amazing things from Vino from last season. Apparently,
Oh,
he's
God.
like he. Apparently, he gives mocks to everybody, and obviously he showed up for his own games, going 2-0. So it sounds like a great
So you
mid
said
to me.
Vino said that about him, right?
Oh yeah.
So why don't you think Vino tried to pick him up? I mean,
That's a great point. He
yeah,
only went
that
for
is a
5K.
honestly that is a
You
great
just
point.
let
and
him
I
go.
could not tell you. Maybe
And
Vino's
honestly-
a fucking liar.
He should have went for him. Look at his fucking team.
dude, if he's amazing going 2-0 and mocking everybody, that's an amazing 5K pick. I would have got him right
Yeah,
off the
so it
bat.
sounds like some cap to me.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
know about you,
it-
but
It might be.
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see on how he does.
Yep.
Next we got 10.5K Phil. So before this DPL, I honestly thought Phil was a pretty mid player, but he actually tried out for my team, and he
oh god.
he actually made it seem like he knew what he was doing. So I was actually willing
Fuck,
to go
you're
up
acting
to 10K.
like he's ass.
No, he's not ass.
Jesus.
He's not ass. He's not ass. But like all I'm saying is his tryout definitely surprised me.
Right.
It was me going from 5K Phil to 10K Phil. I mean, it was pretty surprising.
Okay.
Like,
Okay, so my thing about Phil is I feel like he's kind of in that TDG class wild card, you know?
yeah, I
like
agree.
like Phil is gonna go hard. That's one thing you know you're gonna get out of him. He's Westbrook. You're gonna get the effort, 100%. He's gonna give you mocks. He's gonna help everybody, and he'll sneak out a 6-0 versus draw. You just never know what you're gonna get from the guy. So, I mean, nothing but good things to say. 10.5 is a good price.
I agree. I think it's a good price.
Being
Sure.
in call with him during the draft, I must say this dude sounds like the most motivated motherfucker of all time. He says
Oh, he
like he's
is.
gonna be consistently active and just give out mocks and just carry a
Oh,
team.
he-
Well,
yeah, he
Sharky,
definitely is.
as we know,
Definitely
you
is.
actually happened to pick this guy up last season because you were a captain. How was he on your team last season?
I did. You know, me and Phil at the time, we had some rough moments, but in the end, he was just very active supporting the team, and in the end, that's all you could ask from a player.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Percent.
Next up we got T-Row. I
Who the fuck
honestly,
is this,
I
dude?
honestly think
This
is
is
one
an
of the.
LC player,
I
and
think-
King
I
Up,
think
I've
this
only
is-
picked him up because he's active. That's it.
I think he's on the lower end of the 5Ks. Like if you compared to T-Row to Amel, I would take Amel any day.
This guy's dog shit. Can we just be honest? Who the fuck is this guy? An LC player?
All right,
He's
bro.
picking
I
up
was
LC
talking
players
about
there.
I was talking
picking up
about
LC
fucking
players.
Baby Eric and no, I was talking about like Hopeless and Slick being dog shit, and you're like, bro, that's so fucked up. But as soon as we get to T-Row, you're like, this guy is dog shit. Blah 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 blah.
Dude,
blah.
those guys are better than T-Row. That's all I gotta say. At least they're not LC players.
Yeah, I haven't really seen
The-
any results out of T-Row outside LC, so I can't really say anything.
Yeah, he's also a Wi-Fi player, which makes it even worse. Sorry, Tiro,
Jesus
there's only
Christ,
there's
dude.
only
Okay,
so
first
much
of all, the
shitty
best
stuff about
Wi-Fi
him.
player is fucking OG Albino. Why wouldn't you get OG Albino over this guy?
Who the fuck is? Okay, whatever.
You know
Let's
who
move on
OG
from him.
Albino
He's
is.
ass.
Henrik, this guy won LD minors and beat Hacker
Henrik,
Killer in finals.
Hackers superior. Great pickup.
So I've actually heard this guy is pretty fucking good, honestly. GCS hypes him up a lot. And yeah,
Okay.
he's had recent results.
Yeah. Okay. Here's my thing. So I watched all of his games in LD. Obviously, good season. Was the best player in the regular season. Won the chip. Absolutely fucking demolished Hacker in finals.
Yeah, he fucked him.
But the thing is, I feel like his drafts were really bad, especially in the lower tiers, which obviously I think he'll be playing Sword and Shield since he's a newer guy, but still I can't get over people who draft bad, man. It's such a sign to me that you're just not the greatest player.
Honestly,
But
though,
I think he's a solid 10K. I do.
honestly though, in Team Torch it doesn't really apply as much because even if you're bad at drafting in
That's
like
fair.
tiers you haven't played a whole lot for, other people are gonna do it for you. So
That's fair, 100%. And I'd have to assume he's playing Sword Shield. I'm not really
yeah,
sure.
I'd also have to assume he is as well.
Yeah.
And Sword and Shield doesn't really take any skill, so.
Yeah, you're just wrong
It's
on
alright.
that. Notice how all the Sword and Shield players went for the most? Like 100, Hob, Theo, Aki, all those Sword and Shield Pyronox, all the Sword and Shield players went for more than the other people. Oh, I wonder why. But
Listen,
yeah.
dude, it's because we're in Sword and Shield.
Uh-huh,
All the
uh-huh.
old players who used to play with me quit.
Yep,
They
totally.
would have gone for more, and you know that. All right, pipe
Totally.
down.
Totally. Anyway, this is an argument for a whole other day. Anyways, we got Obi
It's not
next.
an argument.
Obi's the GOAT, bro. He did everybody's logo for free. I have nothing but positive comments. I
Yeah,
actually
look how
haven't
good.
seen this guy
Look how
play.
good the old heads logo is, by the way, everybody.
Bro, look how good
Holy.
all of these logos are.
That's a good point. I shouldn't just gas myself up. All the logos are great.
Obi's the fucking GOAT, dude. But I haven't really seen him play, honestly. But he's a great logo maker.
Yeah, last I've seen from him, I think, was like the Dragon These Nuts in Your Mouth from TDT that one season. That was like the last I saw him, and I don't think he played that much, so I have like no info on
Didn't
this
he win
guy.
the chip?
Yeah, he won
Yeah,
the
he
chip with
won.
them, but obviously Zazo hard carried and shit, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
That yeah, it's kind of like an Aki situation, I guess. But yeah. Next up, we got Luxance, 6K. So this guy is actually known for beating Vess multiple times. Fun fact.
Dude, you're actually so weird, dude. You're actually so weird.
He's
Listen,
actually known
listen,
for
Lux, you
slaying
fucking-
him.
Listen, you fucking hacks the shit out of me 3 times in a row, and I hope you know when I bounce back from 1-4 in OLT and I win the fucking chip. I hope it's right over you. I hope you're in the finals against me. You better fucking turn up.
But
God.
I've seen Luxance perform, and I've also seen him shit the bed. But
I would say from what I've seen recently, at least, I think Luxance has been playing decently well. I'd say 6K is pretty cheap for him, to be honest, for how active he is and how decent he's been as of late. From
I
what I've
definitely,
seen.
I definitely
all
do
bullshit
think.
aside, good pick.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's on the higher end for like a 5 to 8K player for sure.
For sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I like the pick. I think Lux is definitely one of the better.
Yeah, if you
better
compare
6K,
him to like
5Kers.
let's see the teams we've already gone over, like Metro, Luffy, they went around his price.
Basically everyone on
better.
Danger Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
basi-
better than
yeah.
all these guys. He's better than the whole bottom half of Danger
Except
Zone.
LeJon, the goat. Yeah.
And yeah, I think he's like maybe on par with JCN, maybe a little bit worse. Not sure.
Yeah, probably about there.
Yeah.
So for this team, I honestly think it's pretty middle of the pack. I think L5.
100%.
I think I'd put it right under Trick of Eye. I think. That's where I'd
Okay,
put it.
personally, out of all the teams we've done so far, I think this is the best one. Out of the 4 teams we've done so far,
I'm
I
gonna
think
have to
this is-
disagree.
Yeah, I'd say that's a bit whack.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
I just
because-
think L5 is a captain, and every player on the team I feel like is just decent. I don't feel like there's any guys on this team where I'm like, ew, why are they on the team?
Well, how
except
I
for
feel about
fucking
this team
T-Row
is
Price.
they're gonna need Luxance to pipe up if they want to do any well. Because think about it, right?
I mean,
Theo's been doing mid
I mean-
recently. Chipboard's always done mid in DPL. GCS, maybe. If they get GCS and Luxance plus L5 to pipe up this season, I can definitely see this team making
mean,
playoffs.
Phil,
But if that
Phil can
doesn't
definitely pipe up. You
if
got to
that
remember
doesn't
that
happen-
one season.
Yeah,
Phil
if,
6-0'd like everybody that
I mean,
one season.
shit, dude. If Phil does that, then this team's definitely making playoffs. So I do think that this
Oh,
team
yeah.
has a lot of
Mhm.
potentially good players, but
Yeah,
a lot of the
see,
players
I disagree with that. I
haven't
feel like
been doing good
this
recently.
team's- I feel like this team's potential is lower than like for say your team.
Oh,
but
definitely.
I'd say I'd be more confident in this team than your team just because I know the players. I know what they're gonna do for the most part, you know.
Okay.
I can get down with that, to be honest.
Okay, so where I'd be, I put my team in first. Like not
Out
biased.
of
I'm
the
not
4
even
we've
I'm not
done?
even biased. Like just for these 4 teams, I'd put my team in first, and then I'd put Trick of Eye, then Wiggly, Tough Guild, and then I'd put Danger Zone. I think.
Okay, I do Wiggly, then I do you guys, and then Trick of Eye, and then Danger Zone.
Yeah,
Oh,
Danger
the
Zone
way
is
I
so
see
clear.
Wiggly is like I feel like they're gonna be pretty consistent. Like I don't see them as having an extremely high ceiling, but I also consider them having like a high floor as well.
That's exactly how I feel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
at
agree.
worst they'll finish like 6th. At worst,
I agree.
maybe probably 5th.
Yeah.
And easily they can make playoffs.
Yeah, I think they could. Yeah, for sure. Next up we got Wings of Wrath by captained by Ryan High Jump Sean. So, as we know, Rye's a very good player. He's
Yep.
been around forever.
Mhm.
He's always been rated as a good player. Sean hasn't been playing as much recently, but he's also known as a pretty decent player. I think he's just I don't know how he is activity-wise or support-wise, honestly. I haven't seen him play in a
From
team
what I
tour.
hear from him activity-wise, it seems like he does sweat mocks for everybody.
That's
From what I
good to
heard from
hear.
Rings of Wrath last season, which is very good to hear for their team.
So I think they start their team off with a good player in Rye. If they start Rye most weeks or Sean, I mean either way, I think both of them are good to start.
Yeah.
So no bad comments with the captains for sure. It's definitely on the higher end.
Okay, so I think the captain core is probably the second best captain core. 100%. Great players, great team support.
So are we thinking I's
That's-
the best?
Are you
Are we
okay?
thinking
We're just
I
gonna move
then
on
Rye?
from that.
Or are
So-
we like-
So
I know
they're
you're not counting
definitely- they're
yourself.
definitely great captain core. Don't even talk. So, I mean, I could see either one of them winning almost every week. So, nothing bad to say.
Okay, 25.5k Sword and Shield player Habura. So, as we know, this guy's one of the best Sword and Shield players in the pool by a long shot. He's had only good results recently. He went like what 4-3 in TDT. That's good. The last DPL season, he was like the
He
Sword
was like
and Shield
6-1 or
MVP.
something, right?
Yeah, he was like the Sword
Yeah.
and Shield MVP.
I think it was 5-1 because he missed out a week, but yeah, still very impressive.
Yeah, that's really fucking good. I think he's definitely very similar to Theo, player-wise. What do y'all think about that?
I think
Um,
I think Cobb is one of the best players.
Yeah,
I think he's
yeah.
definitely in the tier 1. You know, he's better than Toxic. He's better than
Oh, God.
Sharky. Honestly, he's better than the
Oh.
entire Noble Victory team.
Yeah.
So-
no, it's just wrong, honestly.
So I could honestly see him going at bare minimum 4-3, bare minimum.
Look at this team over here. Look at this. Look at Hob. Then look at this team. Yeah, you see what I'm seeing, chat? Okay. But anyways, so we got Hob right. Everybody
Yeah.
knows he's a good player. There is one thing about Hob though, and it's his activity. He's not known for being the most active guy. He's known for showing up to his games and getting mocks for his games. But as far as helping other people out as a tier 1 player, obviously on this team he's actually a tier 2 player. But as a tier 1 player, overall, I just don't think he has much value to him other than winning his Sword and Shield games. And he's also not known as being a very good drafter. He always tells me at least that he's a terrible drafter, and he has to have other people draft his teams for him. So
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll comment on that. K-Crick is probably the best drafter in
So, yeah.
that I've known.
that's a great
Ever.
pairing. And then we move on to their tier 1 player in K-Crick, right? I mean, I'll let Vest talk about this guy.
K-Crick is great. K-Crick, you know, I wanted him. I won't lie to you. He's a great player. He's one of the best players of all time. 100% top 3 at worst. So, I mean, here's the only thing though, is obviously he doesn't play as much anymore.
Yep.
So,
And
Mhm.
I mean,
so
last
it's kind of the
season-
same thing as your team, except I have way more faith in K-Crick to do well than any of your team, because at least K-Crick played last DPL season. Wasn't the best, obviously.
He definitely
But,
he went negative. He went negative last season. I
Yeah,
believe,
100,
so.
yeah, for sure.
He
But
did
I
indeed.
still have much more faith in him than most players in general, not just you guys. But yeah, he's great. Simple as that.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about K-Crick. I just haven't seen him. So I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and see how K-Crick does this season, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in him.
What do you think, Sharky?
I mean, I don't know much about K-Crick, so I can't comment much. I
Yeah,
can comment about the next guy.
I can't.
though.
One thing I have seen about
Oh, I
K-Crick though
can't.
are the Mystic Kings drafts last season. He was on the Mystic Kings, right? And I think they had pretty solid drafts. I mean, it carried them to finals, right? So
Best drafts in the tour,
yeah.
easily.
So I think if you can keep that up, then this team definitely is one of the best teams in this store.
Yeah, dude, K-Crick is the best drafter I've ever seen. 100%. 100%.
All right, next up we got Devin. This is a super controversial guy.
All
super
right, so
controversial.
this guy was contemplating signing up in the first place, mainly because after getting banned from Smogon and all, his motivation was like all over the place, and he didn't really even feel like playing. But after he got picked up by Ryan Sean, he says he's motivated again. So it just depends on how quick he can knock the rust off, because he had a very solid season last season. So
Yeah, he had a
it's all
that
about
was peak
if he can
Devin.
get back into form.
Last
Listen,
season
man.
was peak Devin, right? Now he's at his low. He's at his lowest of the low. You see, he's only going for 10K. So he's gotta get back to where he was. He's kind of like Ace Trainer Josh, but
Yeah, listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with this guy. Devin, I like him as a guy, 100%. But like, dude, he's all over the place. I'm like, one day he's never playing draft again. One day he's back. One day he's quitting. I'm like, dude, can you fucking stop? Like, just play or don't play. I'm like, I don't know what's going on
one
with him
more
ever.
thing about Devin is he's god awful at scheduling. If you pick this guy up,
Oh
he's at
my
least getting subbed out twice like in the season.
Oh,
he's at
yeah.
least getting subbed out twice.
100%.
I mean, you can't count on him to play every week. So
That
he's
is
just
my only gripe with him. Is just you never know what you're gonna get out of him. Because we all know he's a good player. But are you gonna get a good Devin who has good activity, or are you gonna get Devin who loses a game and decides to start quitting Mons and leaves the server? Like, what are you getting here?
yeah, and yeah, he's honestly kind of like he brings kind of a negative atmosphere. I feel too. Like as
I
soon
don't know
as your
about that.
team
I
loses
think,
a series,
you know,
I feel like Devin's just gonna fall off the face of the fucking planet.
That's fair, but I think he's a good guy to talk to. You know, I like him as a guy. You know, it's not like he's not a controversial figure. You know, you can talk to him. He's a chill dude.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, we got Sablo. This guy's pretty good. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna
Oh,
put it
absolutely.
out there. This guy's probably a top 5 Warcraft player in the entire pool. I don't know about Drafter, but they got K-Crick to cover that shit. So
Yeah.
Sablo, great player. I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna go like fucking 5-1 at least, 5-2, something like that. He's gonna go positive. By a
Okay,
long
here's
shot.
the thing. Sablo is a great league player, but he's not always the best team tour player. Last season he was pretty good on TTT,
was
but
great.
overall he hasn't been the best team tour player. So I really want to see him step up and be one of the better team tour players, because I know he can do it. I mean, he's an LD champion. You know, he can do it all. So yeah, I could see him doing really well.
Sharky, you know anything about this guy?
I really don't. I know that he's a good guy in general. I just don't know much of his skill at all.
All right, so
I've been
next,
playing against this guy for the longest time. He's
yeah,
great.
he's been around forever.
Alrighty.
So next up, I think 17K is a good price for Sablo. I think
Yep,
it's spot on.
fair price, 100%.
But this next price, I'm not so sure about. 18.5k Aster. So as we know, he did pretty good last season. I think he went like 3-1 on MTR. But the thing is whenever you're going 3-1 on MTR, you have Gypsy, Zazo, Aki. You have all those guys on your team to help you with prep. Maddie, you have all those guys. And like this guy, he doesn't really play a whole lot. So I feel like without that kind of support, I feel like 18.5 is going to be a bit of an overpay for him.
Okay, so I joined their server later into their year. You know, obviously my team was eliminated from playoffs. I joined their team server in the playoffs. This guy was super active. I looked over some of his teams. I thought his sets were creative and good. I mean, I honestly have nothing bad to say about him. He was really active. Zazo himself, you know, he vouched for him to me. He was like, definitely pick up this guy. I mean, obviously he's not K-Crick, but he's definitely a good mid-tier player, and the activity's there.
And
You
another
know,
thing
I
about
think
him
it's a good
is
pickup.
he's been around forever, you know, like you can
Yeah,
put him in an old
absolutely.
gen and you can
Any
rely
tier.
on him more in an old gen than some new guy, you know, like PZZ or something.
Yeah. I mean, they have great old gens if you look at it. They got K-Crick and Sun and Moon, Sablo and Aster and Oras, and then they got some great sword shield guys. So,
I mean, yeah, they got Hobbita, which
Mhm.
is arguably a top 3 sword and shield guy in the
Yep.
pool. And then they got like
Rye or
mm,
Sean can
I don't
do it,
yeah.
and then Devin is a sword shield player. So,
Amel's also a sword and shield guy.
Amel is Amote, like Mega Steelix. Come on now.
All right, next we
Also,
got
watch
these three
out.
5Ks. So I don't know, like the two bottom guys. I know Brian's not very good. Enzo Nana.
Ryan's horrible.
Yeah, Enzo Nana. I don't know who he is.
I
He is
don't know,
a
yeah.
Smogon. He's a Smogon goon. He mainly does the smaller Discord Smogon tours and stuff. Not
Okay.
really onto the bigger scene yet, but yeah, he's alright for a 5K for sure.
And then
I
Amel.
can't really
I
comment
mean,
there.
shit. Me and Vest teamed with Amel last season. He was
Yeah.
definitely an underperformer, but he wasn't complete ass.
No, yeah, for sure. The thing about Amel is he's kind of a loner, you know, he's just gonna do his own thing. He preps his own team. He has some crazy prep sometimes. But overall I think he's a good player. He's not really much on the he's not really gonna help everyone out. He's just in his own little corner just doing his thing. But
Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think he can be a good player.
He definitely has surprised me with some of his prep in the past. He's known
Yeah,
for
he's got
being
some-
a
he's got some sets, man.
wild ass fucking prepper.
Yeah. It's like Skyhorse.
Yeah, he's like Skyhorse, but I think possibly even crazier. Like, he's a crazy prepper.
Yeah, they're in the
I'd say
same
crazier, to be
same
honest.
they're in the same realm.
Like
you will.
Amel, Skyhorse, TDG, Royer, all those guys, they're all pretty up there in the crazy part.
Roar is not crazy with his prep. Roar's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, he just doesn't know what he wants to fucking do, dog.
Roar's just fucking crazy. Okay, but I'm gonna give my final piece about this team.
I think
I
this is
think
the best
everyone
team
agrees
so
this
far.
is a consensus, either first or second.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great team.
Yeah.
So
Nothing-
far,
absolutely.
this
nothing
is the
bad to
best
say.
team on paper out of these 5 teams that we've ranked so far.
Out of all the teams, probably it's probably the best team on paper out of every team for sure.
And like I said, on paper, because they do have a couple of
course.
risks that they picked up.
Yep.
So if those
But-
risks happen to be failures, I can see this team maybe finishing 4th, 6th, 4th, or
I
5th.
can't see them missing playoffs. I really can't. I'm not gonna lie. Now you know anything can happen. You know YGW gang, but like
Yeah.
I just can't see it happening.
I mean, Hobbita's not really risky, but he's kind of risky. Because in Season 4,
I don't know.
he got dropped at mids in DP.
I don't think he's risky. I mean,
So,
I'm not gonna say that he's gonna go 6-1 again, but I'm not gonna say he's gonna do bad. Like I
think
just
he's
can't see
solid
him
for
doing bad.
sure.
I think there's a chance for him to go like just slightly negative.
I
I don't think it's
also
a
think
guaranteed positive, but like he's still a good player overall. So
Like, if I had to
Definitely.
bet on Hobbita going positive or negative, I'd bet on him going positive.
Obviously, yeah.
Alright. Next up, Hungry Men, captained by Zern and Max.
Jesus Christ.
This
Let me
team-
start on this fucking team, man. Zern and Max, you know, solid cap core. I don't really mind it.
I think it's
Zern
on the
is
lower
one of the
end.
better players in the game. Max doesn't play much, but he used to be really good. Now let me start on this team, man. It fucking sucks. This is the worst team by far. I mean, Craig, I'm sorry, my brother. I tried to get you. Like,
He's not worth
Dude, what?
37K. He's not worth it.
I,
Okay.
I don't know.
No,
I,
dude, no.
in this
Bro,
pool,
we're
in
talking
this
about
pool,
tier 1 players. Tier 1 players need to be able to draft good teams and win their games. We know from
Okay,
the Mickey
okay.
Mouse season that
No, you
Craig
don't
can't
need
draft
to-
for shit.
You
dude.
don't need to be able to draft. You got a whole team for that. Listen,
Who
Craig
do they
is one
have?
of those guys. He's gonna win his game. Point blank. He's gonna win his
You
game.
gotta have good
That's
drafts
just-
to win your fucking games. Who do they have to draft other than Zern? Like what?
Man,
Who do
they
have?
can draft. These are draft players. Their drafts aren't gonna be fucking dog shit. but-
Mm,
Craig personally was number 1 on my list. Okay, I'll just throw that out there now. I think Craig is great, but if you look at the rest of the team, it's underwhelming as
Yeah, the
fuck.
rest of the team is the problem,
no,
bro.
to be honest,
Like if you think about it, Zern, Craig, probably 2-0 almost every week. Everyone else, I have no fucking clue.
Glop's a decent second tier player for this team. I guess
I
Nerf
mean,
would
same
put it-
MTR thing, same MTR shit.
Yeah,
man.
for like second tier especially, like that just seems crazy to me. I don't think he's gonna live up to that
I mean, yeah,
expectation.
Yeah,
because
it's just
all
it's
the
just
players,
AIQ,
all the weird
MTR.
players that came out of nowhere on that MTR team last season. I mean, you don't know if they were carried by fucking Zazo and
100%,
Gypsy or
dude.
not. So you don't know
Right.
how
It's
good
the
they are. on their own.
AIQ MTR effect.
Yeah,
Were
you
you
don't know how
carried
good
by
they are.
Halu and Wombo? Were you carried by Zazo and Gypsy? Or were you really good?
Yeah, you don't
And
know how
we'll
good
figure
they are.
that out this
Yeah,
season, obviously.
We'll see. First of all, if I think their captain Zern probably popping off, I mean he hasn't popped off recently, but if he does, along
He was
with
good
Craig
in
and
LD.
Glop, I mean so far it's good, right? Then they get
Yeah.
Scrappy. I mean he's mid, right? Yeah.
I mean, Scrappy, you all see his role in the server. Worst pickup, I mean,
Yep.
I don't think he's actually horrible, but he's just
very,
okay.
very mid.
I have no idea. He can
He's
either
okay.
go 0-5 or 2-3.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
I don't
he's
see
not
him going
going positive.
Yeah, I don't see him
That's just
going
not
positive.
happening.
I can
It's
see him
not
winning a
happening.
couple games here and there though.
now Chess, on the other hand, I could see going positive. Chess has some potential. Not the worst
Maybe.
player.
I think he's similar
I-
to Scrappy. Honestly, I don't really rate him. a whole
I'd
lot.
say, yeah, that's what
No,
I'd
I
say,
think
to be
Chess is
honest.
better than Scrappy.
Maybe slightly. He hasn't done anything recently either though.
He was good in TDT, I
Was he?
think.
Was he?
I don't know. He beat whoever was on our
Was-
team.
Here, I have the dock open. I can check.
Yeah, you can go
He beat
check
Tort.
that out.
Yeah. He beat Tort.
Chess 3-1, so not bad.
Oh
in
yeah,
TDT.
that
there you
actually
go.
is pretty good actually. Never mind. Decent
But,
5K.
Yeah, I think he's all right. And then
Mhm.
who is Spitfire? Am
Okay.
I like I don't know who that. Why did he go for
Alright.
10K? Who is this guy?
Spitfire
I
is
know this
Sharky's
dude
guy.
from COVID-19. He did decently in ORAS. He just needs very good support and people to build his teams really in order for him to succeed. But I do not know who's gonna build his ORAS teams in this team.
That could
Probably
be
Like,
Max.
Probably
Or
Zern.
Zern.
Maybe, but yeah, I'm not sure. I just don't see much support for the team for players that really do need it.
I mean,
so
yeah, like Zern's not
that's
really
just me,
known
though.
for his support.
Oh,
and then
also,
other than Zern, they don't have
I
any
actually
support.
forgot to mention this. Max is definitely a good drafter. From what I've seen in LD, he had some of the better drafts in LD history for sure.
Well, I don't really know a whole
So-
lot about Max, but if he is a good drafter, like you said, maybe if he drafts for this team, maybe it has some potential. Maybe it'll surprise us.
Yeah, he had some good ones when I played against him.
Spitfire, Hub likes him. I know he's Hub's friend.
Yeah, I just don't know who he is. I can't
He's
really,
a
I
lower
can't say
end
much.
Smogon guy, but
He just needs very solid prep support, and then he'll just play his games pretty much. So if he finds that, then maybe he could do somewhat well. But if
And-
not, then I don't see it much
I
because I
mean-
don't
Yeah,
think he's
fair
built
enough.
a single team on his own.
this
in
team
that
would
pool,
be
to
a
honest.
this team would be a lot better if like before Scrappy and Chess and all them, they just picked up another decent player. Like
100%.
because
Mhm.
now they're stuck with
100%.
having 22K for Nerf. Like you got to go 22K
This
for
is
Nerf.
the thing, man. Some of these teams will bid super high on a guy and then be scared, thinking all their points are gonna go away. Listen, man, you gotta keep bidding. Look at Danger Zone. They got Finch and they didn't get a single player after that.
Yeah.
You just
I mean, they choked
can't
that
be scared.
fucking dick after that. They have TC Finch. Who else
Yeah.
do they have? It's like
okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
next we got Nerf. Now, personally, I
good.
was the guy who got Nerf to 22. I wanted Nerf. So, Nerf was on in TDT last season on Scrappy's team, so they know each other. That's a good link there. He went 8-1. One of the best players in the whole tour. I messaged Scrappy before the auction. He had nothing but good things to say. He said he helped everybody out, consistent player. Yeah, so I was definitely considering him myself.
If
I
you
think
were
that's
surprised,
a good player.
if you were surprised about Hacker's performance in TDT, shit, bro, Nerf got another win. Like,
Oh, absolutely. I had no idea who he was. Yeah, it was a complete shock.
he did kind of come out of nowhere, but I think he has potential to go positive for sure this
I do
season.
too. Yeah.
Sharky, you know about this guy?
Well, the only time I knew him was back in TDT, in which I was kind of disappointed in his activity. He was pretty dead, and I ended up like telling captains to basically trade him away for PZZ at the time. And so, obviously, my impression at the time wasn't very good, but I've only seen him do pretty well since then. So, good on his end.
Okay.
At Scrappy said his activity was pretty good, so I guess he picked it up, right? So.
Okay, so this
Yeah, I
next
guess
guy,
so.
Vest probably doesn't know who he is. This guy's actually
Oh.
he actually
yeah.
originates from the SDL. Actually,
He does.
he's an SDL guy,
Economical.
and he's one of the better SDL guys for sure. He's super creative. He's a terrible drafter, but he's pretty good at
Sammy
playing.
CE.
Yeah, he's pretty good at playing, but he's just a really bad drafter. I feel like if they get some good drafts, and Economical could probably prep and play for himself, and I can see him going even. I can see him going even.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as well.
I can see him.
Hey,
being
let me
played a
let me
couple
also
times
mention this
and
real
going more
quick.
than one.
Make sure to look out in the future
Bro, shut
for,
up, bro.
for
Shut
Toxic's
up.
SDL playoffs because he uploaded the first one, and I just want him to keep the series going. You know, so look out for that in the future, Pokemon Lounge fans.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Next,
keep going.
next up, we have a Gen 3 Smogon player. C.
A
I don't-
what?
A Gen 3 Smogon player. He's a Gen
What?
3
You
Smogon
heard that
player.
right.
Yeah.
So
okay,
a
I'm
Gen
up in the air.
3 main.
I don't know how Gen 3 is gonna correlate over to fucking Gen 6, 7, and 8, but you know.
I mean, it's
maybe they have
Pokemon, I
to-
guess, right?
So C is one of my Smogon friends, and so yes, he is a Gen 3 main. But when applying, he said he did do some Gen 6 and 7, and he signed up only because him and Zern are friends, and then he obviously ended up with Zern. So I guess he has
Okay.
some faith in his Gen 6 or 7 abilities. So
Yeah,
we'll
that,
see
that
what
makes
happens.
sense, I guess. Yeah, that's kind of strange. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Gen 3. I'm not sure. I didn't know anyone played Gen 3, but hey,
Yeah.
uh,
It's just
what
a weird pick, man. Weird pick.
like most of them, yeah.
And then Nicholas, I don't even know who he is.
I don't either. I've heard the name
Oh.
before, but I can't. I don't know him.
Sharky,
Oh
you
yeah,
know who
he's
he is?
another one of my Smogon friends. He's a Smogon Gen 8 main on the lower end, but he's been in draft for a little bit now, and he's been doing well in some of the smaller leagues. So he's climbing his way up a bit. I know that he went on TGM, went even, but Bird loved him, and yeah, now he's with Zern and a bunch of other Smogons. So
Well, if Bird loved him, he would have got him over Street Cake Cookie Cough.
well,
but,
to be fair,
yeah.
nobody expected him to go for 11.5. 11.5 for Nick was kind of insane. Even he admitted.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
This team is on.
It sucks.
It's right next to Danger Zone. Maybe a little bit better.
It's worse, 100%.
You think it's worse?
I 100% think it's worse.
You think it's worse? I think it's neck and neck.
looking at it, I think it's still slightly better. Just
yeah,
slightly.
if I had to pick, I'd say it's.
I
better.
mean, I guess it is close now that I think about it, but I definitely would
'Cause
lean
since-
towards
do you-
Danger Zone being better.
honestly, dude, this team comes down to Craig either being worse or better than Finch, and then Glop either being worse or better than TC. That's just how what's going to come
I
down
mean,
to.
I guess. I mean, I would more say Nerf than Glop, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that Hungry Man has a better shot at playoffs than the Danger
Oh
Zone.
wait, are we talking about TGM
I-
or Hungry Men compared to Danger Zone?
We're comparing
Talking about Hungry Men and Danger Zone.
Oh,
and Danger
oh,
Zone.
never mind. Hungry Men is the worst team. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Hungry Men is a better team personally. That's just what I think.
Dude, if they do better than like 6th, I'd be impressed.
I definitely think they're gonna
Honestly-
finish last, but I also think Danger Zone is. So
I think they're gonna finish most likely 7th or 8th. I can't lie. I don't see much better than that. I don't see upside.
I think Danger Zone has a much better chance of being decent than Hungry Men. That's
I
just me.
definitely agree with that. Yeah. To be fair, I don't think either of them are gonna be decent, but I definitely see Danger Zone being better at least.
okay.
I could see them being all right, but I'd lean towards not good.
I think
Yeah.
Hungry Man has more potential than Danger Zone personally.
I
Just
mean,
'cause
it's-
they have
it's-
up and coming
it's
players.
close, I guess.
They have up and coming players like Spitfire, Nerf, fucking. Maybe
mean,
Glove.
yeah, but Up and coming old guys, it's either one could be an advantage. So,
yeah, Baby Eric, I guess. Yeah, okay.
I mean, look at your team. You got a bunch of old guys. You should love the old guys.
Bro, I have old guys and new guys, so
I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
I got a mix. Like Aim's an old guy. I'm a new guy, you know. But
True.
next up, ghosting majorities. We got Bird and Blitz.
Okay.
I don't know about this cap core, man.
Hey man. No,
I
no,
love
no
Bird.
shade to Blitz. I think Blitz is a good player.
I love Bird. I love.
I think
Bird.
I think he's a good cap. I
Bird's
mean, I
hilarious.
don't know much about him as a cap. You know, he did TDT. I mean, they made playoffs, respectable, obviously.
Yeah.
But Bird, you know, a lot of players were not too keen on being on this team, and
Okay,
it's gotta be
first of
'cause
all,
of
you
Bird.
gotta give them a
You
little
know,
bit of
just say it.
credit. They let Aki have full control of their fucking drafts in TDT, and you know,
I
look,
mean, that
look
is
at
a
where
throw,
that took 'em.
100%. That
Look
is
at
a throw.
look at where that took them.
Yeah.
But I mean, also though, who's gonna take control of their drafts now? Ian? Ian's not gonna be that.
Yeah,
active.
I
yeah,
don't see much about
not
how
sure.
Ian's not
because
gonna be that
I feel
active.
like Blitz and Bird needed somebody to carry them, but they just didn't get that. They just got a bunch
Pyronox,
of like
yeah.
mid
I
to
think
high.
Py-
tier-
I think
Pyronox-
Pyro is
Pyronox
one of the
has-
better players.
Pyronox has never been good for drafting though. He's been good as a player. He's never been known for
Well,
drafting.
no. Here's the thing about Pyro's drafts. They're strange, but they're good. You know, they're not conventional, but
Oh,
he
and
never
Pyronox also
has a
knows a
bad
lot
draft.
of. He like knows the in and outs of mods. Like he knows some
Everything, dude.
completely
Yeah.
random shit that I've never even known, like thought of.
Like I think Pyronox will be able to give out like good sets to people and stuff, but when it comes to drafting, I'm not too sure about that on his end.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So honestly, overall, just glancing over this team, I think their weakest point is drafting. I don't think they're bad playing wise though.
Maybe.
Just by what I'm looking at.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, I also look at Hackers drafts in LD. Absolutely horrible, to be
mean-
honest with you.
Hacker, yeah, he's never been known for drafting. He's a great player though.
He's a good player, for sure. But I want to start off with Pyro. I think Pyro was a lower end tier 1 player in this draft.
I agree.
I mean, Pyro is an LD Masters player, one of the better players as well, made playoffs, you know, did his thing. I think as a player, he's really solid. I'm not sure if the activity is there. He doesn't talk much, but I think he will definitely go positive as,
Dude,
as an individual.
Pyronox is kind of like Sablo. He's really independent. He doesn't really need much help. He'll win his
Yeah.
own games, but he won't support anyone else.
I could see that. I could see that
But he
comparison.
won't really support
I'd compare him
anyone
more to like Money Guy though, you know?
else. Yeah, yeah, they're all around the same, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he's like a lone wolf, you know. He'll win his own games. I'm sure he's gonna go positive. I'm like
Yeah, me
positive.
too.
I'm for sure he's gonna go positive.
I'm not for sure. to
I'm
be honest.
pretty
Like
confident.
all right, but I think
And,
with
I mean,
I'd say
he's their
Pyronox
sword
is a
shield
bit more of a
player.
wild card than y'all think. I think he could potentially slip
mean,
to
yeah,
the
sure,
negatives.
Sharky
I don't
did
know, dude.
draft him last
He's
season.
pretty consistent. He's done well in basically everything recently, so.
I think he's pretty fucking good. I mean, he's always
Me
done
too.
good in
Oh.
team tours. He's known for being a team tour goat.
Well, okay, last DPL he went pretty negative. Then did he do TDT?
I don't know.
no.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, so like
He did LD though. Best record in or top 3
Oh,
record.
was he
something
first
like
seed?
that. No, he wasn't first. He was somewhere up there though. Top 3, I think. Top 3 seed. He did great.
Alright.
It's not bad.
All right. Well, let's move on to Ian.
Yeah.
I think Ian is a good player. Definitely not better than Pyro. So I'm not sure if that's an Ian overpay or a Pyro
Well-
underpay. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I mean, I think Ian's good, but I don't know. I'm not nearly as confident about him as I am with Pyro.
I've never seen Ian do good in a team tour. I'm gonna be honest.
Dog, he did in TDT.
Did he do?
He went
did he
5
do
and
well?
1 in last TDT, fam.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'm just blind. Well,
Or
that's
5
pretty
and
good.
2,
but
but yeah,
he,
still pretty
it
decent.
was
I've
good.
never
Whatever,
heard. I've
it was
never
good.
heard anybody say he's like extremely active though. You know, like Sharky's teamed with him, captain with him.
He's
even.
not.
And Sharky's always said
Well,
he isn't
okay, so
super active.
what I've heard from his time at Rick Rollouts at least is he seems to at least care a bit more like when he's actually a player than when he is as captain, which is a bit weird, but if it works and if it makes him at least a bit more active than usual, then could definitely help out. If not
Yeah.
though, then I don't find it worth. I do love you, Ian, though, if you're watching this.
I think Ian. I think he's honestly a very middle ground pick. I think
Yeah.
you can pretty much rely on him to go about maybe 3-2. Honestly, I think it's realistic.
I
I
think
mean,
there's definitely upside.
I
with him,
think
for
he-
I
sure.
think he'll
he's
start
been
every
around
game,
for a
so I'd
while.
go more 4-3.
Yeah, he's been
Oh, yeah.
around for a while, so I think drafting wise, he isn't gonna like be clueless. You know.
Oh, definitely.
So I think that's kind of a drafter, kinda. You know, it gives them something to work off
I
of.
honestly have no idea about their drafters on this team, to be honest with you.
Next, their
Me
Oras
neither.
player. So they got their Sword and Shield player in Pyro, Sun and Moon player in ENMC, and then you got your Oras player in Pichu Bros. What do y'all think about
Yep.
this guy?
Yes.
So I like Pichu Bros. I think he's a good player. His name is fucking horrible. You should look into changing it. But I think I think he's a solid player. I'd honestly have more confidence in him going positive than Ian. Um, and he plays Oras, so he's actually a man. So
Oh, God.
it's respectable.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one thing about Pichu though is I've heard he's a really bad drafter. I've heard he's a bad drafter.
Well, okay, I don't know how he's in drafting because he's typically dead during the drafting phase.
Well, that
However,
doesn't help. You know?
I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's
doesn't
not a good
help
sign.
him much there. However, like a lot of people do think like, oh, Pichu isn't very skilled. He's all just lucky and stuff. I've teamed with him multiple times, and I think he gets way too much hate because he does consistently well, and he knows how to play the game. So I think it's a great pickup by them.
I agree.
Like, he
Well,
won't
the
be
thing
active
is-
and stuff, and he might prep only on Saturday, but he knows how to win his games for sure. And so
I
if he
think-
finds a way to do that, then that's all that matters.
I think Pichu will go
Exactly.
positive if they have good Oras drafts. I just don't know how they're gonna get those good Oras drafts.
I mean, considering what they drafted in TDT, I mean, you could say that's
Holy
Zazo or sorry, Aki's fault,
but it's
I-
also Bird.
those were horrible.
It's also Bird because Bird had to agree with it. You know.
Yeah,
And
they
Blitz.
were
Blitz is also an
horrendous.
Oras guy. Blitz has never been known for drafting. I don't have much hope
Yeah.
for Pichu, but we'll see how the drafts end up, and
I
that'll
think it'll
kind
be
of sway
decent.
my opinion. Okay,
All right,
so
next up is my guy.
this is a similar situation to what happened with Nerf. They waited way too long in the draft to pick somebody up, so they had to go all in for this guy, and it's Hacker. You know, Hacker, he's a newer guy. He's recently popped off, and he's been doing really fucking good recently, which explains his 27K price.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Mhm.
he is known to need a little bit of support. He isn't completely independent like Pyronox. He needs a bit of support, prep wise, and draft wise. He definitely needs support. So if you can provide those, I think Hacker's definitely going to go positive. But if you don't provide those, I'm not so sure.
yeah, I like the Hacker pick. I mean, I wanted him. He was one of my guys on my list. Obviously, I had him in TDT for a little while. He was great, and 27K is quite a hefty price, but I think it could be justified. Hacker, obviously, on my team in TDT, we did help him a lot, but he still performed the games. You know,
Yeah,
he didn't
he's
choke
great.
anything.
He
He
was
was
a
a
great player.
consistent player. So I mean, I think it's a great pickup.
But like I said,
Yes.
he isn't the most independent guy. He's a great player, but you've got to help him. So that's kind of the downside.
So the thing when it comes to is like, so Hacker, it is a very, very hefty price for him, but he will be. Okay, looking at the roster, he'll most certainly be the most active player on that roster. Like he'll call if people are done to call. He'll make mocks for everybody. Like
I heard
he-
Bird
he
is a
will do what it
maniac,
takes.
with activity. That's what I've heard.
Bird is pretty active from what I saw on TGM. Yeah.
I think Hacker's going to be the best quality support though in that team.
Oh,
Uh,
most certainly. From
yeah,
that team, I'd
yeah,
say
probably.
definitely. Yeah.
He's a great player, and I feel like his mocks are going to be definitely above average. So, you know, not very many
definitely.
complaints with that Hacker pick. I just think they should have picked at least somebody up before that just to help the team out a little bit. But
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like they could have fit in one more good player, you know.
yeah, I agree.
But since the hefty price on Ian and Hacker kind of strapped him.
Like I feel like they could have gone for like maybe like Ace Trainer Josh or like JCM, somebody like that to
Yeah,
fit
maybe.
in before Hacker. Maybe I think
Yeah,
that would have
possibly.
improved the team quite a bit.
Definitely.
But yeah, next up we got Undead. This guy, he does good one season, bad the other. You don't know how good he's gonna do. Like
Yeah,
just-
I mean,
he's a wild card. He's the definition
I
of a
mean,
wild card.
yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a bad pick by any means,
He's
but
a
it's one of
great
those
5K.
picks where it's just like, yeah, whatever, you know.
The
It's
thing
just
is, like, I probably would have considered Undead for a 5K. He doesn't get along with some of the players on my team, so I just couldn't.
Interesting.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he's the definition of a wild card, though. He's more of a wild
Yeah.
card than
I
like
guess so.
Bronson, I think.
I think
I
they're gonna
can't
have
really-
a great system with Hacker giving out mocks originating, then Undead going out of his way to counter team those mocks. It's gonna be a great time.
That's actually a really good point. Also, whenever you're in playoffs, Undead won't mock you. Okay, so I mean that's straight out of Craig's mouth from last season of DPL. I mean, Undead didn't mock anyone in playoffs, so I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, that is definitely the worst time to leave.
Undead's never had a
stop,
good
yeah.
DPL season, so maybe this season's his time to shine. So.
Yeah, I mean he only played one game and he lost last season.
Yeah.
So
He was on the best team, though.
yeah,
Nice.
I mean no shame in not playing on that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got Sun. I don't really rate him a whole lot, to be honest with you.
I mean to be honest, he's fucking shit. So I mean we saw the screenshot of why Kaz left. You know, if you
Yeah.
know, you know.
Yeah.
This guy said understandable to not wanting to be on my team. Yeah, how do you fucking feel now? You fucking shit stain.
He's had one
Are you
good.
kidding me?
He's had one good performance in his entire career, and that's why he's
Okay.
got picked up.
Thank you. Jesus.
No, and it's completely true too, because he
I
did
know.
what? He did well in LDI. He made finals against Finch.
And he got fucking
That's the
body
only
slammed.
thing he's done in his entire career.
He didn't play a single good
Since
player.
then, what was that,
played
like,
Finch,
6 months ago?
Got fucking shit on.
What was that, like 6 to 8 months ago? He hasn't done a single thing
Yes.
since then.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And he's been presented with multiple opportunities. He's been picked up in every team tour, like TDT,
Yep.
and he just hasn't performed. So I honestly think he's on the lower end of the 5Ks.
100%. And even let's compare him to someone else on his team. Right below him, Bobbert. Bobbert is
Whew,
only
that's a fire
2K
player.
more. And Bobbert, I mean, I personally don't rate him, but you can't argue with the results. I mean, Bobbert has done well
He
recently.
has great results.
I mean, simple
Yeah.
as that.
Fantastic. He's on the same page
simple
as
as that.
Hacker. He's on the same page as
So-
Hacker.
No,
Fantastic
but
results.
I wouldn't go that far. But I mean, if you want to compare the two, like only a 2K difference for the drastic difference in player is crazy.
I agree.
Yeah,
I do
definitely.
view Sun as more of a community member than a good player, just personally.
I just think of him as shit, personally.
I wouldn't go that far. I don't have anything against him. I just think he's on the lower end of this player pool for sure.
Yep.
Okay,
And as
so,
I alluded to, Bobbert.
yeah, Bob.
I mean, I think
did
that's a
great in
good low
TDT,
tier
man.
pick.
He got presented with the opportunity in TDT, and he fucking smashed that opportunity. Like
Absolutely.
He did so good, man.
I
Mhm.
mean, this could be a bust player, and it could be a boom player. You know, this guy. I mean, I don't think he's gonna beat the likes of the best players in the tour, but could I
Definitely
see
not.
him? You know, could I see him beating anyone who's on his level? 100%.
100%. If he matched
Yeah.
up against, let's say, Nerf, like another Rise and Shining player, I can see him beating him.
I think Nerf's better, but
I can see him beating him though.
I could see it. I could see it.
Against most of the 5Ks that were picked up, I can see him beating all of them.
He's better than most of them for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Street Cred Cookie for 12. I'm gonna be honest. This guy actually had a really good fucking application. I just haven't seen him do anything recently. Like all of
Fuck,
his
I thought the
results.
best thing you told me was 6-1 in cock, and he played LC during then. What's good about that?
Well,
See,
6-1 cock. I mean, that's
Jesus.
he didn't mention it was LC. But
Listen, dude, LC means absolute. It means less than Gen 3. Like that guy. That means less than Gen 3.
yeah. I don't know about
Now-
this guy.
Okay, here's the thing. So Hacker is a big proponent of Street Cred Cookie. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
they're friends.
What Hacker told me is that this guy is an absolute grinder. You know, he will mock everyone, do his thing. So I mean, 12K might be a little much. You know, they probably could have tried to fit in another player at the end. You know, try to get a 7K so they could fit in another 5K at the end. But I mean, you know, they waited really long, so there really weren't many options. So I think it's a decent pickup.
Honestly, for 12K, I think it's a bit of an overpay. I would have went 5K for him, but yeah,
Right.
they waited a little bit
Yeah.
too long.
They just
think-
waited too long, man. You know.
Yeah, I agree. So this is a very
So-
middle of the pack team.
I mean, much better than I thought. Obviously, this is the weakest cap core of the bunch,
Yeah, which
know, nobody's
drops the
gonna
team a
dispute
little
that.
bit.
but they're not the worst team. I
I'd
think
put
they're
this
100%
team-
better than Hungry Men and Danger Zone, and then they're in the mix with like those other middle of the pack teams.
So far, with these 7 teams I've ranked, I'd put Wings of Wrath at an obvious first place, right?
For sure.
Mhm.
And then I'd probably put either Wig or my team at second.
Okay.
And then I'd go Trick of Eye. And then I'd probably go Hungry Men, then Danger Zone. That's what
Okay,
I'd do.
mine's similar to that, but I would do Wings and then Wiggly second. And then you guys and Trick of Eye are basically the same to me. You know, good teams. And then Danger Zone, Hungry Men, bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's reasonable. Sharky, what do you think?
Me, I think I'd pretty much say the same shit as Toxic, except flip around Hungry Men and Danger Zone. So it'd be Wings of Wrath, Noble Victory, Wigglytuff Guild, Trick of Eye, Danger Zone, and then Hungry Men, bottom of the barrel.
So next
All right,
up-
I'm gonna take over for this next one. All right. So
Oh god.
we got the old heads. Okay. We got the best team in the league right here. Capcore, Vesuvius, Legits. Obviously, I'm the best ORAS player in the pool, and
Okay.
I'm the best player in the pool. Period. And then you got Legits. Legits is arguably a top 3 to 5 Sun and Moon player in the pool. Absolute beast. I mean, there's
Where?
no way you could argue
Legits?
we're not at least a top
Where?
2 Capcore. There's just no shot.
I think you're a top hand Capcore, but Legits. I mean, you gotta think about it from this point of view, right? Your best interest is playing yourself because you're better than Legits, right? And
I
then
mean-
you're also way better support than Legits because Legits. I mean, he's not really known for being
Okay,
active.
but here's the thing. Legits will help. I guarantee it. He already has.
So I don't
He's
think
been doing
Legits.
work.
I don't think Legits is as an empty slot as Money Guy per se, but I definitely think
Listen,
he's
listen,
more on
listen.
the empty.
You know absolutely nothing about Legits.
I
This guy
think
definitely
I know a
tries.
bit.
And here's the thing, he tries, and he's a good player. He's one of the best players. He's a really good drafter. That is another thing. I am a very good drafter. Legits is a really
You're
good
a
drafter.
mid drafter.
Everyone
Let's get that
would agree.
straight.
Everyone would agree I'm a really good drafter.
You're a good ORAS drafter. You're not a great.
I'm a good
Sword and
drafter
Shield
at everything, dude. Look at
Drafter.
LD. I had the 3 best drafts in all 3 tiers. So,
Yeah,
need to pipe
let's
down.
go ahead and move
and
on.
Legits is everyone who knows Legits knows he's a really good drafter.
Okay, buddy. Enough
You don't.
gassing
That's
your
why
own
you
teammate.
wouldn't know that.
Enough gassing your own teammate, weirdo. But
Why would I not do that?
next up we got Sebi, 21k. I think it's a fair price for this guy. We nommed him early on. Game plan was to make him go for a lot, because I originally thought he was going to go for around 15k if we nommed him later on. So mission accomplished,
what?
right? 21k Sebi. Reason why I thought he was going to go for 15k is because I view him as more of a third, fourth tier player.
What?
Not price wise, but player wise and prep and like support wise, because Sebi is known to not really be a great drafter, and he's known to like need a little bit of support. So he's
This is-
definitely not a first tier player.
This is some of the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. I'm not gonna lie to you, Sebi is probably the steal of the entire draft. I don't know why, but everybody he was the first nom of the draft. Everybody was scared to bid at the beginning for some reason. Like as you notice, a lot of the first players on every team, they went for pretty low prices. So everybody at the beginning was pretty scared to bid. Sebi is 100% the steal of the draft. 100%.
We'll see. I don't know, man.
Sebi is a tier 1 player in DPL. Hands down.
Sharky, what do you think about that?
I genuinely do not know enough of this guy to comment. That's all I'll say. The only time I've like seen or heard of him recently is from PWS, which obviously is not saying much at all. So I really got nothing on this guy.
He was on Mystic Kings, one of the better players.
Yeah, I remember
Simply.
that.
He was
much, and
probably
did
their
really
second
well,
best player. So, which is nothing to sneeze at since Craig went 8-0. So
All right, next they got Draft TJ. This guy,
TJ Boat.
never been good.
The
Never
Boat.
been known for doing or for being really good. Honestly, he's never been good.
yeah, well, see, that's where you're wrong. I'm pretty sure you played against him last season
Okay.
and he won.
Okay.
Also, he was the champion. I don't know if you put any credit into.
Okay, Will the
winning the
RNG was a
championship.
fucking champion. What are you on about?
Yeah, he didn't play. TJ played. There's a
Will
massive
played?
difference.
Will
Will
went
did not
0-2.
fucking play.
Will went
He
0-2.
didn't play in playoffs. Stop talking.
He went 0-2,
Listen,
buddy.
Do I think TJ is the best player on my team or one of the best players?
No, he's
No,
definitely on
But
the
he's a
lower end.
solid player. 10K was a good price for him.
Yeah, I would say that he's good value at 10K. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just want you
I
to.
think he's a
I just want to
he's a
remind
good
y'all
price.
that he ended Zern's winless streak. By the way, he ended Zern's.
Zern is one of the best players in the game. That's listen, he got hacked almost every week. I really don't care if he went winless.
Okay, well, we're
That's
just gonna
why
have
he
to
went
see.
for more the next season.
I
Everybody
think
knew it was a
TJ. I
fluke.
think TJ. I mean, he's never really gone positive, right, in DPL. I think he's.
I'm pretty sure he has.
I think he's a
Don't know what you're talking about.
guaranteed negative slot on that team.
That's
Personally.
You're just talking out of your ass. You realize that, right? You just have no idea what you're talking
That's
about.
just what I think. Next up, we got Rob
Wasn't
Jr.
he known as like? Oh, I was gonna say, wasn't he known as like the cursed DPL player at one point just because he like rarely wins, or is that?
He doesn't.
Am I
He
tripping?
always, he
Broke it.
always goes
He
negative.
broke it.
He always goes negative. So I don't know what to tell you. But
He broke it.
for some reason,
Won
Vest
the
thinks
chip.
he's good. But next we got Rob Jr. for 31K. Honestly, kind of expensive for this guy.
Oh,
He doesn't
okay,
help the
I
team
got.
out. Wait, what? were
Rob
you saying?
Jr. will only play his own. He'll only play his own games. And Rob Jr. I've seen you play. You seem like a decent player to me. I do not know how you do it. I don't know how you consistently go negative in every team to where I see you do. I simply do not get it.
Well,
So
yeah, he just never does
Alright.
well in a team tour. I think the reason
Listen.
he doesn't go positive is because he just doesn't put enough effort in. He doesn't do mocks. He's just very low effort. And I think if Vest can make him put a little bit more effort into his games, I definitely think Rob could perform. That's how
I absolutely will. Because if one thing that I can do is I can bring the best out of people. I mean, look at all the players on
Vest,
TDT.
Then again, you teamed with him last season. Couldn't make it happen.
No, I understand. But, you know, he kind of stopped playing, you know. I don't know what's up with that. But here's the thing, okay? So you'll notice as a theme over the whole draft, there's a lot of guys that could be considered overpays, right? So this was probably the thought process of most people. The player pool is thin, very thin.
It is thin.
You know, there's some good players, and then there's just a giant mass of just average muck. So it's okay to overpay for a guy who might not be the best player just because you know that you're not going to have to pay very much for those good players at the bottom. And that was basically the thought process of the team, especially with this pick.
I mean, that's one way to look at it, right? The thing is you've teamed with him in the past. O2,
Yep.
completely cancer as a captain. Right?
Okay,
he signed. He
calm
openly
down.
signed
He
up
did
as
not
a captain.
cancer.
He did cancer. He was
No, he
completely
did
dead.
not.
Didn't help anybody
Dude,
out.
Calm down.
One
You're
thing,
blowing it over.
he's never done well in team tours. So
Listen.
honestly, I'd be surprised if he did well in this one. That's just how I feel about Rob.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Sharky, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Rob?
Well,
How do you
then
think-
Rob Jr.
Actually,
already said
you've already
my
said that,
thoughts.
but how do you think he's gonna
Yeah.
do this season? How do you think he's gonna do?
How do I think he's gonna do? Like, I don't know what the major thing is. The fact that he goes this consistently negative, I can't really see much changing, to be honest.
I'm the same way. I'm the same way, man. Same with TJ.
Yeah, me too, I'm the
with
same
TJ.
way.
Same with TJ.
All
Same
right.
with TJ.
So let's move on to another one of the steals of the draft.
you have BM.
BM.
BM,
Now-
who's notoriously known for doing badly in team
Yeah,
tours,
see,
I
you
honestly
see,
don't
you
know
see
why
how
he
Vest
got
is
this guy
picking
so
up all
early.
these players.
I
See how Vest
don't
is
give
picking
a
up all these
fuck.
players who are notoriously known for doing bad in team tours? Are
Listen,
you noticing
it's
this?
Pokemon. I don't give a fuck if they're good at Pokemon. They're good in a team tour. I don't give a fuck
That's
about
not
that.
how it works.
Listen, BM is a good player. OLT, consistently one of the best OLT players. Consistently just a good overall player. And I think 6K is an absolute
Okay,
steal.
so what I will say about BM is he has recently won the sports circuit, which is a pretty big accomplishment. So
Dude,
that is
BM
something to go off
stays
with
winning.
BM.
That is definitely something.
I honestly think BM was a better pickup than TJ here, personally.
I
okay.
don't see that, but yeah.
I'd go BM over TJ personally, but that's just me. Next up we got Beardy. What are your thoughts on Beardy
What?
Vest?
Beardy? Oh, good, Vest can go first.
Beardy, I mean, had him in TDT. Great player. He did really well in the regular season. Fell off a bit in the postseason, but I don't think that's
Definitely.
attributed to him being a bad player necessarily. You know, sometimes you just lose games. But I mean, 6K, obviously not much there. So I'm not really investing a whole lot into him, and
That's true.
I think he's a good player.
What I will say about Beardy is whenever we picked him up in TDT, I always viewed Beardy as some guy who didn't really care a whole lot. And then whenever we picked him up, in the regular season at least, he seemed to sweat a little bit more than I thought he would.
Oh
So,
yeah,
I
and
think,
he's Mr. Vibes. He's kind of like,
yeah.
he's happy-go-lucky.
If he happens to do that again, I can see him going positive. It's just,
Yeah.
in playoffs, he kind of let us down. He didn't play the best.
Yeah,
So,
he's-
he's
yep.
kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, seeing Beardy play before, I do think that he's a decent player. So I think that this is really like low risk, high reward type of business for them. It doesn't hurt
All
them
I
at
do,
all for
bro.
getting him for 6K.
That's all I do.
I don't know about
All right.
Rob. I don't know if that's low risk, but
Let's move on to the next player,
John. Phillips.
John Filch.
John Phillips
A-
just
a
smoking that rarely
smoke on
anybody
Well,
knows.
you must have done your research on this guy, cause
Oh, trust me,
let's hear
brother.
it.
I know what I'm doing. Listen, I got the plugs all over the place. I dude, I have cameras in your server right now, bro.
I'm
You
pretty
have
sure
no
I
idea.
fucking baited you into drafting this guy. Okay,
What?
buddy. I baited you into dropping this guy because you asked me. You were like, "Yo, who's your top player?" And I was like, "John Phillips."
Dude,
And you
I knew
took
about
the
him
bait.
before you.
took the bait.
Fucking Rin told me about
you
him.
took the bait. You honestly took the bait. And you see how nobody
Yeah,
outbidded
I've
you?
heard
What are you
about
talking
John
about? Rin
Phillips.
told me about him. Rin knows the smoke on guys.
From what I heard from my draft friends, he's an okay Smogoon who happened to go 5-4 in OR SSPO. That's pretty much all I got on him, and he
That's
hasn't
a
really done
decent
much
record.
else outside of that, which is okay. But like, yeah,
I honestly think he's a safe pick. I don't really have many complaints about him.
Yep.
I think
yeah.
for a 5K Smogon guy, I think he can do bad. I think he can do good. We're just gonna have to see.
Hey, he can't do any worse than X-Ray. Simple
True.
as that.
That is factual.
And then,
X-Ray was the worst I've ever
honestly,
seen.
I've only ever seen Ren do good whenever he has like people prepping his fucking teams for him.
Listen, man, this is the best pick of my entire team. Say what you
don't have
want about
Roar.
Rin.
You don't have Roar.
Rin wins. No Rinny, no Winnie. This motherfucker won with AIQ. That has to be the most impressive shit of all time. I can't even lie
Yeah,
to you.
you had Halu fucking and Wombo prepping his teams. Like what?
I don't care, dude.
You don't
Halu
have
and
Roar
Wombo,
this season.
you
Who-
have to
don't
win
have
4
Roar?
games to win a series, not
What's your
fucking
prep
2.
support? What's your prep support on your entire team? You don't have any. It's you.
Me,
Yeah, it's
Sebi,
you. Exactly. It's only you.
legits.
It's only
What
you.
are you talking about?
It's only you.
You
You're
clearly
the,
just
okay,
don't know my team.
You know
That's
why
whatever.
Rin? You know
TJ.
why Rin did okay last TDT? It's because he had you and
Listen,
Roar. There's no
Rin
Roar.
tries more in DPL. I don't think you understand that as well. Rin is a perennial
I
good
don't know,
DPL player.
man. I don't know, Sharky.
Yeah, you don't know much. Clearly.
You got thoughts on Rin, Sharky? You got anything?
Not too much. No, I don't know much about him. I don't even know. the
All I
last
know
time he
is
played,
he's a
to be honest,
very
but
support carry
Dude, Rin is just a
player.
winner. It's simple as
Rin
that.
can't do anything on his own. He's got to have
Yes, he
everything
can.
done for him.
Rin literally all he does is win. He's kind of like Jimmy G, like the real Jimmy G, Jimmy Garoppolo. That's who I'd compare him to. Now he might not be the flashiest player out there, but he just wins. He just wins.
Oh, we'll see how many wins he gets this season, buddy.
Yeah, we will.
Next up,
He
we
got some in TDT.
we got Smog on TJ. Sharky.
Yep.
This is your time.
Smogon TJ, I think that this is the best pickup that they've got. TJ is coming fresh off of doing well. I think he made top 8 in OST, which is very impressive. I think he's gonna do solid for himself.
Now here's the thing. TJ and John Filch, very good friends, okay? So we got the synergy. Yeah, Toxic,
Oh,
you think you
okay.
fucking baited me? I know my shit, dude. These
Okay,
guys,
buddy.
as soon as I drafted John, he's like, yo, get TJ. And I was like, bro, I already know. You know why? Because I know who I'm talking to. I know they're good friends. I know they're going to be just absolutely bouncing off each other with ideas. It's going to be great. And he's
it's gonna
obviously
be
one of the
real
better
great.
Smogon players in the pool.
It's gonna be real great whenever your 2 top tier Smogon players shit the bed because you have no prep support for them. It's gonna be real great, man. But
It will, yeah. It'll 100% be really great. I
Yeah.
agree.
Next, I honestly didn't expect this next pick. You've never rated this guy. You've always had very strong opinions on him. I'm not gonna say they're positive opinions, but they were strong ones.
Now listen, man.
We got PZZ.
Listen. Let me start off on PZZ here. So, PZZ, you know, obviously I've had some choice words to say about him in the past. But he's a good player.
Oh,
Now,
really?
Have I always thought that? No.
No.
But does that matter? I don't care.
Yes.
Listen, your whole team in the past, my whole team in the now. That's the difference. See, I don't care if I thought PZZ was bad a year ago. I think he's good now, and that's all that
Oh,
matters.
so you think Rob Jr. is good now after going 0-2 last DPO? Is that how
I
it's
do,
going?
yeah,
That's how
because
it's
he
going?
did well in LD, something you clearly didn't do. So
Clearly.
yeah, same
Oh,
division actually.
so
You know,
I'm
he
honestly,
one
I'm
of the
gonna
best
be
players
honest.
you actually relegated. So
I'm
yeah.
gonna be honest. 5K Blitz. This is probably the worst pickup in the entire draft. I'm gonna be honest.
Now here's the thing. I I can't necessarily blame you for thinking that. This is an absolute wild card pick. Now this is a hunch from me. Now you can think I'm
If
wrong. I don't really
okay,
fucking care.
Vest,
And
listen. If you think
okay,
PZZ's never done anything, Blitz has sure as hell not
I
ever
never
done
said that.
anything.
No, I agree. Blitz literally has never played in DPL. You know, he's an unproven commodity. I'm not trying to say that he's fucking K-Crick. What I'm trying to say is I've seen the guy play, and I think he has potential. I really do. And this is a complete like projection pick out of me. Okay, that's all I gotta say.
I mean, I guess it's low risk, right? But
Yeah, I mean I filled my entire roster. You know, it's not like I have 8 players, so I could afford to go for some little risky
filled
bets at
our
the end.
entire draft. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go personally.
Honestly, whenever you pick up, like, let's compare our rosters real quick. So, like, see.
I mean,
see how
look at your last guy, Kiliminati. I feel like
Yeah.
they're in the same boat, you know?
Yeah, they are.
High
Definitely.
risk.
But,
I mean,
like,
not sorry, low risk,
okay,
high
so like,
reward.
notice whenever you pick up, like, risky players like Rob Jr. and Hiker Toad, you want to fill your entire roster out just in case they don't perform. You know, so you have other people
For sure.
to come in.
I mean, I'm
That's how I
I'm a
viewed it.
proponent of just filling the whole roster anyway, because I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like having those guys in the back just supporting is just really nice, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
let's look into the example. Ghosting majorities. Would I rather have Shriek Cred Cookie or would I rather have 2 players? I'd rather have 2 players.
Yep, I
So-
agree.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And honestly, I think PCC is better than Street Craig Cookie. So,
I do too. That's why I got him.
but the ghosting
And did I
majorities.
take PCZ a little bit for the surprise factor because I love the
Definitely,
attention? I mean, yeah,
definitely.
but that doesn't
Definitely.
mean I don't think he's bad, or that doesn't mean I think he's bad. I would never pick someone I think is bad ever. I don't care if it would be funny. I would never do it. That's why I don't blame you guys for not nomming Bronson at 1. I wouldn't either. Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck tradition. Like, what is that
Yeah,
bullshit?
fuck that shit. I don't want that
just because,
motherfucker.
just because I
Exactly,
got
I agree.
unfortunate with getting pick number 1 doesn't mean I automatically have to have Bronson on my team. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Like-
I mean it's funny, but I'm not here to be funny. I'm here to win. So
Same here. I'm here to win. That's why I drafted the team I did. But for your team,
I mean, yeah, of course, right?
your team is very, very high risk.
I just okay.
You don't have any safe picks on your team.
I don't agree.
You don't have any safe picks. Oh, you maybe have
I
one actually. You
I
got
think
one.
your team is way riskier than mine.
You got a bunch of Smogon players who have never played draft before. That's
Listen,
risky.
Mons is Mons, bro. If I give them a good team, by the way, Roar's in my server. If me and Roar cook up some
Okay.
fucking heat, cook up some I mean, you know what he
That's,
did. Look at
we're
Hacker,
talking about
man.
your roster, buddy. We're talking
You
about
literally
your roster.
vouched. You literally were like, "Oh, Roar just carried Hacker." So what do you think he's gonna do now? I'm just saying.
Well, we're talking about the roster, not your supposed Royer, extra pick.
He's
we're
in the
talking,
server.
We're talking,
Simple
we're
as
talking
that.
about your team, buddy. I'm not talking about Royer.
He's
Royer's
gonna be
not-
helping the team.
I don't
I'm
see.
talking about the
okay,
team.
okay. I don't see Royer's name on this list, so I'm not gonna consider
Okay,
him.
buddy.
So without Royer's name on this list, I'm gonna put your team. Okay, I'm just gonna rank it from the top actually. So I'm gonna
Go-
put Wings
yep,
of
go ahead.
Wrath. I'm gonna put Wings of Wrath at number 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead
There.
and put. Ooh, this is actually kind of.
Just put your own team. We all know you want to do it. You
Yeah,
don't
I'm
have to beat around the
gonna
bush.
put Noble Victory at number 2, baby. All right.
Good
There you go.
answer.
There
Then
you go.
I'm gonna put.
I
the
have
old
no
heads.
problems with
I'm
that.
gonna put
Have
the old
confidence.
heads.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put the old heads at number 3. And I'm gonna
Okay.
put Wig at 4. Right.
Yep. That's
then I'm
fair
gonna
enough.
then I'm gonna do Trick of Eye, Ghosting Majorities.
Yep.
Hungry Men, Danger Zone. That's what.
Okay. Sharky, go ahead. I'll do it last since mine will be the most
Alright.
accurate.
Alright, so I do the same. Wings of Wrath first, Noble Victory second, Wigglytuff's Guild third, Trick of Eye fourth. Oh wait, no, I missed Old Heads, my bad. Old Heads is third, Wigglytuff's fourth. Trick of Eye Trick of Eye fifth, Ghost Majority sixth, and then Danger Zone seventh, Hungry Men eighth.
So exact same list, just the end different. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go you know, obviously I'm super confident in my team, but I will go Wings of Wrath 1. You know, I gotta have respect
Yeah, you
for
do. You do. You
their
gotta
cap
have
core
respect.
and their players.
You do.
And I'm gonna go with my team at second. Now, I think it is pretty close between us and Wings of Wrath, but I will slightly edge them for now. And then I think 3 and 4 is also very close, but I will go Wigglytuff Guild number 3, Noble Victory 4, and then Trick of Eye 5, Ghosting Majority 6, Danger Zone Hungry Men.
So we have.
By a wide margin at
Okay,
the end, by the way,
yeah,
is
we
number
have
8.
we have pretty similar.
I'd agree, yeah.
We have pretty similar opinions here. I feel like.
Overall,
overall,
yes.
it's kind of
Overall,
similar.
yes. Yeah.
Like between.
I mean, I don't
mixing
think it's a
up
crazy
Noble-
disparity between me and you guys at 4. Like, I have us at my team at 2 and you guys at 4, but I don't think it's like a big gap, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And then I had my team at 2 and your team at 3, so it's like.
Of course, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I think. Do y'all have any other comments to say on this season?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and predict the MVP,
Okay.
and
Alright, yeah, let's do that.
I'm
let's
not
do
gonna
that.
pick myself because that's kind of boring. So I'm gonna go. Oh, dude, I actually
Okay,
haven't
okay,
thought
okay,
about
okay.
it. I'm just gonna go
Let's
right
do
now.
players. Hold on. Let's do players. Don't do captains. Just only pick players.
Why? I don't have to do. What? I
Because
don't have to,
because
what?
the fucking
Hmm.
chances of a captain getting MVP is low because they probably want to start both captains a couple. weeks
Okay,
from
I
now.
guess. All right, so I'm not gonna. Okay, no captains.
No captains.
I'm gonna go with Finchinator as the MVP.
For Sword and Shield, or just overall MVP.
Overall MVP.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it by tiers. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Ooh, bro.
What do you mean?
I
What-
gotta
what-
look-
what- what does
like,
that mean?
Not tiers, but like fucking formats, right?
He's saying like Sword and Shield also more as MVP.
Okay, okay. Well, you have to do caps then. You have to do caps.
Okay, I'll do caps then.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I'm not gonna count myself.
Okay, sure.
I'm gonna go II as the Ultra Sun Ultra Moon MVP.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Hobbit as the Sword and Shield MVP.
Okay.
And then as Oras. Oras. That's a tricky one, honestly. I'm
Is
gonna
it?
pick Ace Trainer Josh as the Oras MVP.
I hate you, dude. You're such a troll. You're such a little troll, bro. You're actually so weird. You're actually weird as fuck. You're actually weird as fuck. You have Hiker, Toad, and Genius on your team. Go fuck yourself. You could have picked them too.
Alright, Sharky.
Yeah.
Alright, Sharky, what you got?
I'm not gonna look too much into it, so I think I'm gonna just do the overall MVP for this shit. And alright, let me see. Alright, so when going into overall MVP, I also think it matters as to like the teams that actually make playoffs. I think that also chips in. And so I'm
See,
gonna make
yeah,
a,
that is a good point, so I might change my pick. That is a good point.
I'm gonna make a bit of a bold. I'm not sure if it's bold, but I'll just say it's a bold prediction here. I think that K Crick will have a very solid season this season. And be overall.
Honestly, I was thinking about him.
Yeah.
Ah,
So,
yeah, that's a
you
good
think,
pick.
You
That's
think
a
you're
good
gonna
pick.
go K-Crick as overall MVP?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
So I'm gonna change my pick from Finch just because I think he'll do really well. Really well, obviously. I just don't think they'll make playoffs. Okay, so I really want to pick Genius on your team, but I'm just not. I just can't, you know. Just because of he hasn't played and I don't know how hard he's gonna go, but I really want to pick him. So you know, I'll go. He'll be like top. He'll be decent.
Okay.
Dude, I'm like back and forth between like K Crick and Craig. And I think oh dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go with K Crick as well.
Alright.
100%.
So
I'm not gonna pick my own team, that's just too boring. So,
okay. So we got 2 K-Cricks as the overall MVP. And for my overall MVP, I think I'm gonna pick
or LeJohn Flames. Bold take.
this is tough. I'm gonna go for Genius. Overall MVP. I'm gonna go Genius.
Okay.
'Cause
Yeah,
I
see,
feel like-
I love him as a player.
I feel like Genius
absolutely
is
do.
gonna bounce around through multiple tiers, so he's not gonna get MVP of a specific tier. I just think he's gonna get overall MVP.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, yeah, now that I think that is kind of weird, but I could see it, I guess.
But yeah, that concludes our
Oh,
our
by the way, I'll
DPL
be
Power
ORS
Rankings.
MVP.
Oh God. That concludes our fucking DPL Power Rankings. I'll catch y'all later.
See you later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.